My Hebrew brothers and sisters, the 12 tribes of Israel scattered all over the earth. This is your Moreh Yeshu Ben Uriah Israel, and want to say Shabbat Shalom. And I trust you're enjoying your Shabbat. My brothers and sisters, we just want to take this moment to say thank you. Thank you for your subscriptions. Thank you for your likes. Thank you for your comments. And if you're viewing this as a new viewer, we're asking you to also like and subscribe. Then ask your friends and loved ones to like and subscribe. We thank you and we love you, and we trust that this day will be a blessing, a day of joy and happiness as we worship and praise and give honor and praise and adore our Yehoshua and Yahweh. Praise his name, hallelujah. So this is the day that Yahweh has made. Let us be glad and rejoice. And let us rejoice and be glad. Praise his name. Praise his name. My brothers and my sisters, you know that we are still in the week of remembrance and the rededication of the temple. And the last time I did a message, and I did remind you that we don't have a physical temple. The physical temple that we have now is our body. Praise his name. And Yahweh dwells in us. This is where he dwells, my brothers and sisters. And as the vessel of Yahweh, we're going to keep it clean. We're going to make sure we walk according to his will and do what is commanded of us. And so, tonight for our Shabbat meditation, we want to look at a passage over in Ephesians chapter 5. We're not going to have time to read the whole context, because the whole context goes from verse 1 all the way down to verse 20. But we're just going to take a few verses from it, okay? And, during this time of rededication, as we rededicate ourselves to Yahweh. And my brothers and sisters, please do not wait for a whole year to do it. This is something that we need to do regularly, on a regular basis. Rededicate ourselves to him, give him our life, give him our all, so that he can do his work through us as awakened Hebrew Israelites, my brothers and sisters. This is important for us, to keep this vessel clean, honorable, so that he can use us to his honor and to his glory. We want to talk about the Hebrew lifestyle, the Hebrew Israelites lifestyle. Okay? And so, in Ephesians chapter 5, verse 1, it says, "Dear children," it said, "be ye therefore followers of Elohim as dear children." And it said, "walk in love, as Hamashiach also hath loved us, and hath given himself for us, an offering and a sacrifice to Elohim for a sweet-smelling savor." And verses 3 through 6 through 7, it gives a lot of negative things, a list of negative things that we should avoid. Okay? We should avoid all these negative things. So we're talking about verses 1 through 7 is talking about walk in love. As we walk in love, when we're walking in love, my brothers and sisters, we're not going to partake. We're not going to, keep friends and company with people who do these things. It's about fornication and uncleanness and covetousness. And it said, let not be once named among you as becoming saints. That means we are holy ones. We've been set apart. Yahweh set us apart, my brothers and sisters. He sanctified us. And because of that, we should not be involved in any of these kind of practices. Listen, neither filthiness nor foolish talking, jesting, which are not convenient, but rather giving of thanks. So instead of doing all of these negative things, find something positive to do. Give thanks. Praise his name. He said, give thanks with a grateful heart. We're grateful to Yahweh for what he has done. And these are the time as we rededicate ourselves to him, that we are not going to participate in anything, nothing. No unclean thing, no whoremongers, no unclean person, nor covetous man, idolaters, people who practice idol worship and all that, none of these people are going to have any inheritance in the kingdom of Yahweh, in the kingdom of Hamashiach and Yahweh. No, nobody who practices this is going to have any part. And so he said, be ye not therefore partakers with them in verse 7. Don't follow them. Don't agree with them. And don't let them in your house. And if they're in your house and you own that house, my brothers and my sisters, you get them out. Let them go outside and practice it. Don't let them practice that in your home. Don't let them practice that in your home. He said, and because, why? In verse 8, he said, because, we were sometime in darkness. But now we are in the light. We are, he said, in the light. You are ye light in Yahweh. Light in Adonai. We're light in him. And so because of that, we are to walk as children, as Hebrew Israelite children. Those of us who've been awakened, my brothers and sisters, we are to walk in the light. Walk as children of the light. He calls us, my brothers and sisters, to be light to the Gentiles. If we go there and we start mixing up and doing the thing that they do, then we are no more light. We're just like them. We're partakers, because we're participating with them. So not only that we are to walk, in love, but we are to be children of the light. He said, verse 8, let me say again. For, therefore, sometimes, for ye were sometimes in darkness, but no, ye are in the light in Yahweh. We are light in Adonai. So walk as children of the light. For the fruit of the Ruach is in all goodness and righteousness, and truth. For the fruit of the Ruach is in all goodness and righteousness and truth, proving what is acceptable unto Adonai. And he said, and listen what he said in verse 11. verse 11, this is what it said. And have no fellowship with the unfruitful work of darkness, but rather reprove them. I come around you, my brothers, my sisters. Reprove them. Don't have any fellowship with them. Don't have any fellowship. Because he said, it's a shame. It is a shame even to speak of those things which are done of them in secret. People who do all this wicked, evil, nasty thing. You know. And most time they do it in secret. Because they don't want certain people to see them. And they come out and they act like, oh, everything is nice, everything is fine. Everything is fine. Everything is fine. Some people are like that. I had an experience not long ago where a young man was having a hard time. As a matter of fact, he was having a hard time from he was a child, in and out of detentions. And I ran into him and he said he needs some help. If I would help him, I want to be a security guard. And asked me to assist him in buying his uniforms and everything like that. And so I decided to give him, some money to do that. And he claimed that he did, got him a job, and in 3 weeks he was working again. 3 weeks. And then I found out that on the one side of his family members, his father's side, they are encouraging him to get involved in witchcraft. You know, it burned my heart, my brothers, my sisters. And so, a nice young man, I don't want to see him around me. I understand he's still having problems. But I don't want him around me. Because based on what the word said here, it says, have no fellowship. Have no fellowship with them. The unfruitful works of darkness, but rather reprove them. Rather reprove them. So then, Paul, Shaul, is encouraging us to walk in love. He's encouraging us to walk as children of the light, Hebrew Israelite children of the light. And then we have to walk circumspectly. In verse 13, this is what he said. But all things that are reproved are made manifest by the light. For whatsoever doth make manifest is light. So in verse 14, wherefore, he said, awake thou that sleepest, and arise from the dead, and Hamashiach shall give you light. In verse 15 it says, see then that ye walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise, redeeming the time in verse 16, because the days are evil. Wherefore be ye not unwise, but understanding what the will of Yahuwah or Adonai is. Then in verse 18, be not drunk with wine, wherein is excess, but be filled with the Ruach, speaking to yourselves in psalms and hymns and spiritual songs, singing and making melody in your heart to Hamashiach, to Adonai, to Yahuwah, to Elohim. When we sing, my brothers and my sisters, when we sing, we make melody in our hearts because our hearts are happy based on all of the things that Yahuwah has done for us, what He's doing in our lives, and what He's going to do in the future. We sing and we make melody in our hearts. And we give thanks always for all things unto Elohim and the Father in the name of Yeshua. We say, in the name of Adonai Yeshua HaMashiach. Praise His holy name. Praise His holy name. See then that you walk circumspectly. My brother, what he's talking about when he say walk circumspectly, he's talking about walking accurately. Accurately. Some time ago, I heard of a story. The story was this man had bought a chariot. And he was looking for a driver for the chariot. So he got 3 men. These 3 men came to be interviewed and, be tested about their driving habits. And he asked one, how, if I was on the wall, I was on the wall, and my chariot is on the wall, on top of the wall, and it, because in those days, the wall city, the chariot could drive right up there because the wall is so wide, And so he asked one, they give him a speed and say, if you were driving on the wall, how close could you get to the edge? And one said, I could ride at a fast speed and I could stay just a couple of feet from the edge of the wall. And I assure you that I'll land you safely. You're not going to have to worry. Another one said, how close? He came to the next one and said, how close could you ride on that wall and don't fall over? And the one said, sir, I could get as close, few inches from the wall and never fall over. And then the third rider came to him and he said, sir, how close could you get to this wall at a speed? He gave him a speed and how close could you get to this wall and don't fall over? And you know what this man said? He said, sir, I will stay as far away as possible. I will stay away as far far as possible. I will stay away as far as possible. You see, my brothers, my sisters, sometimes as Hebrew Israelites, we brag about him because Yahweh is on our side. And sometimes we get careless and don't do the things that Yahweh said we have to do. But, my brothers, my sisters, remember this. We are to walk accurately. Walk is a see that you walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise. And we have to understand the time that we are in. Redeeming the time, for the days are evil. Do like this last writer. Stay as far as possible from anything of darkness, any negative things. Walk in love, my brothers and sisters. Walk as children of the light, and then walk circumspectly. I trust that you will be a blessing to someone today and walk with the King. Shalom.